Hello everybody, my name is Troublemaker. This is Wargame European Escalation, and we have a match today between the blue player, Enohka, and the red player playing as Pact. We have Burn the Pigs. I had a great match with Derek's previously, check that out if you haven't watched it yet. And so, release date news, according to the Wargame Twitter account, which is a reliable source of news. The developers have decided that the release date for Wargame European Escalation will be late April, that is this month, or early May. There will probably be one more beta left, and that beta will include pre-orders. That last bit, not official, but they have stated that they're very interested in having pre-orders in their beta. Which means it'll be a stress test. It'll be a pretty massive stress test, and the servers will be crazy busy. It's also a nice little marketing gag. So that's some exciting news. Look forward to pre-orders. Should be soon. I'd expect within the week is when they come out with the pre-orders. Not 100% on that, but they will be very, very soon. So that's exciting news for Wargame Airland Battle. But until Wargame Airland Battle comes out, this is our game of choice. It's Wargame European Escalation. If you're new, interested in buying this game, it is a tactical RTS game. One of the unique features is that you start off with a bunch of units. In most RTS games, you start off with very few units. And you have to capture these points to gain resources. Each point has a number on it. Each number signifies how many points you will get from that area per minute. And you deploy from these reinforcement points, the big solid white lines. So tactically, it's very important to get these reinforcement points for faster deployments, but it's also very important to get these big, giant, heavy point bases so you get extra money. This map's kind of interesting because it's actually featured in the campaign, but you would never know it. In the campaign, the computer owns every single one of these points, except for Alpha does not exist, and you have this base here. And as you can see, this base has got a lot of buildings, lots of forest, great places for tons of infantry, infantry jumps, but it doesn't actually have much of a function in this map. You can place some units, infantry, in this little toll booth here. And just imagine if you're a tank going through here, this toll station. And it's like you put your quarter into the toll thing, and the thing pops up, and you're driving by, and then like a guy comes through this window, Quentin Tarantino style, and goes like, "So long, sucker," and blows you up with a rocket launcher. That could happen. This is a common tactic called a reinforcement block, and the goal of this is to use a few infantry squads to jump units as they come out. And for a second or two, units will not fire. You can do it here as well. You can see the forest, put them in here. And infantry units are very, very stealthy when they're in forests and when they're in buildings. So this becomes very, very expensive to remove. And this map is one that's a little bit imbalanced, but people don't play upon the imbalance. One of the big imbalances is that this is an easier access for the pack player. It is not for the NATO player, who has to go a much harder path. It's also a little more imbalanced because this bridge creates a choke, and if you try to attack into this position, you have to move through a choke. Comparatively, this area here is very, very open, very easy to attack. It's very uncommon, I should note, for people to actually take these positions. Most people generally try to go for these forward positions here to actually attack. And note that this position here is a 2-point, this one's a 3-point. So yes, he's actually going to go for double 3-point base. He's going to go for a money build. He's actually got 3 command armor, so this is playing quite greedy as far as the Wargame European Escalation goes. There was recently a nerf on command armor costs, so tactics like this are a little more viable than they were before. Now note, Enohka's going to take a position over here. If he can grab this road, he can attack into here. And I've had the sneeze for about 10 minutes, and it's about to happen. Choo! Oh, God, that sucked. Okay. So yes, taking this position over here, very good for Enohka. It is a faster spawn point to both of these bases. However, it's also very vulnerable. Just securing this road is good though, because it means that in the future he will be able to strike into this location, into this choke here, which is very undesirable. But it also means he'll be able to split up these 2 points, which is also quite good. On the downside, it also means he's surrounded by these 2 points. But there's no reinforcement point over here, so it's not a real concern. All forces will be coming from this direction. So Enohka going to take Bravo base and Delta. That's a weird choice. Maybe he's going to go for this Echo base and go for an attack on the side this way. And this would not be a very expected tactic here from Burn the Pigs, but it would be an advantageous one because it means that Enohka really will not be able to attack this position here, which means this heavy econ play by Burn the Pigs should work out. So it looks like both players will be moving into econ mode. So we're going to speed ahead. Looks like some BTR 60 pies. Going to move up. And Enohka pulls up the dragon and might lose it actually. Very scary. But he's going to mobilize an infantry carrier to try and deal with this BTR 60 pie. Which of course is a relatively weak vehicle, but it's one of these not so useless vehicles. Look at this. Look at this unit. We haven't seen this ever. BMP 2 Auber 1986. Never seen that vehicle in my life. But here we are. Now, like I said, Burn the Pigs is actually a very, very low rated. 1500 rated. And he's going for a very, very greedy play. And I'm actually surprised that we have not seen Enohka punish him for this. Now Enohka's taking this 3-point base and this 2-point base, so he's got 5 points. His opponent has 3 and 1, so 7 points. So there's a 2-point lead here for Burn the Pigs. Not massively significant. Also note there is a reinforcement block in place here by Burn the Pigs. A group of 20 moto Strelkis, and looks like a rifleman squad just deployed only in time. Should be able to clean this up. But note that the force also gives cover. But the riflemen are actually not a very potent squad, but they should be more powerful than this Moto Strelki squad. Absolutely should. Of course, the Moto Strelki squad in the circle formation, compared to the riflemen who are in the spread in every possible direction formation. And yeah, formations, by the way, actual thing in Wargame Airland battle. And Chiefs and MK20s will help clean up these Moto Strelkis, and the reinforcement block is taken out. Reinforcement blocks, of course, have to be proportional to the amount of things out there. And these hedgerows are not the best place for reinforcement blocks because of how visible you become comparatively. But they do relatively well. And Enohka's actually going to go for a 3rd command armor. And it looks like we're going to see some tank action here from Burn the Pigs. T62 M1s along these BMP2 Ober 1986. Of course, a vehicle I have not seen yet. And generally, tactically, when you're going for high econ, you want to pump out very expensive, higher veterancy units. You want to win on a quality war when you're going for these big econ builds. Big econ builds do not work for people who want to pump out a lot of cheap units. You'll just run out of units. You want to get these nice higher quality units. And he's got this great anti-tank on helicopter, which can be used for sniping most things here. There isn't really a anti-air in range. The Martyr Roland 2 should be able to hit this range here, which is quite a high range, but not enough for him to stop this anti-tank on helicopter from picking off these things. Also, this is not a very well defended position. If he's able to spot, which he currently is not, anything critical, he just managed. Whoa! That is embarrassing. He rallied out two lot stingers just as the anti-tank gun helicopter popped up, and that anti-tank gun helicopter was just a giant expense now. Also note, OT 8100 tank destroyers. Never heard of these. Never. 8 armor. That's insane. But they're worth 10 points. That's a cheap unit. And it actually catches the VPZUs as well. Enohka is just everywhere, picking up every single unit as they arrive, and he's just doing too well with this. The VPZU desperately trying to get away. The Gazelle, of course, does not have much weaponry. It just has this poor little 20mm gun, which shouldn't do too much. And the VPZU squad should be able to actually get away from this. All the while, we see some tanks moving up here for Burn the Pigs. He might try to make some small pushes. With this positioning, his interest will of course be in getting rid of this reinforcement point and stomping a lot of units there. He has to defend this line here. This is his reinforcement point and Enohka's reinforcement point. Note Enohka is ahead on income. He has 3, 6, 8 compared to the 7 of his opponent. So now it's actually up to Burn the Pigs to make a move. He has to either expand or attack. Those are the only two options. All while this VPZU squad is being obnoxious. It's one of these squads which has a really great function as far as how I play. You can drop them and they can be like your little hero squads. They can zigzag through the units if they can and go after command armor kills. They're very, very hard to spot. As you can see, Enohka cannot see it. He's guessing here if the UH-1C Hog tank, or not tank, gunship helicopter. And so now we're seeing, actually he's going to use these tanks to protect his reinforcement point. And note this is a really open area, so if he wanted to go for tanks and recon, he could just wipe a lot of stuff out here. There is 2 AMX-30Bs which have a very, very high range, but they're also very lightly armored, so very easy to be crushed in attacks. But what Burn the Pigs needs is a lot of high veterancy units to really survive these attacks with massive amounts of armor. He's moving up a few units, trying to get a little bit of intel on the forward lines. The Delta base is not really all exposed, specifically because of how Enohka has it set up. If Burn the Pigs was to move forward to his hotel location, he would expose his line here, which he doesn't want to do. Enohka kind of has infantry everywhere right now. And look at this, actually going to wipe out some free BTR-60 pies. Possibly. So it looks like they missed completely. Ooh, that is not good. You can make it. You can make it. I yelled at the BTR-60 Pi as they started unloading on tank destroyers and anti-tank gun dragons. And yeah, Enohka is just winning a lot of small battles right now. And similar to a lot of games, he's had really, really great positioning and relied very heavily on his opponent making a ton of mistakes. And just using this hog very smartly, going to pick off some BTR-60 Pi with it. And looks like this will run out of fuel before it does anything. I'm not sure what the point of this was. I'm assuming you want to use the BTR-60 Pi from this location to do something, but it just didn't seem to do anything. Not even anything functional, like you can't wrap around and do anything with this. But regardless, we're going to see a pretty major battle come up. We have some UAZ 469 long-range faggots, shallows. He's got the recon up front, not the best place for that. And let's see if he can actually spot. Keep in mind, if you kill off this recon, this push is pretty well dead in the water. And so the recon has got to take a position without dying, which is going to be a challenge. And he sees the mutt, which is the recon unit of Enohka. That's going to be a pretty big hit for him if he can kill this thing relatively cheaply and quickly. And one hit, 30 point down. And now he's just got to get this recon into a nice stealthy position. All the while he's going to continue pushing ahead. This is a very fortified location. And he's pulling out these Chieftain Mark 10s, which are going to do very, very good. The recon is dead, which means this push is in a lot of trouble. Without recon information, he is in serious trouble. He could use something like a recon helicopter right now. But here we go, the big tank engagement. Burn the Pigs, pushing with heavy amounts of tanks. T-62's leading charge. OT 8100, a tank destroyer I've never seen. Trying to get into range to try and wipe out these Chieftain Mark 10s. What Enohka's doing is what you do with high income. You get it, you rally these very, very expensive tanks, and you attack and defend with them. But this push is already doing some pretty critical damage. Took out most of the AMX-30Bs. There's still one in the back here. The Jalo continues pushing forward, though, into the range of the AMX-30Bs. The T-62s are in trouble, though. Most definitely dying. The Shallows will all go down. The OT-8100 is moving the wrong way. And T-62s unloading from the distance on something. And nothing's really dying. I mean, score's still about even. Oh, there was a pretty big hit. Now with this push, he doesn't have to go for a kill. He can actually continue blocking the reinforcement and completely fortify this position. The UAZ 469 Thicket can be put into a nice defensive arc and do some damage. Artillery is going to support this as well, and he might be successful in a reinforcement block. But whoa, Rifleman going to drop on top of TC2. It's got to get micro backwards. Micro, of course, referring to moving backwards, is the individual management of the tank, and infantry are the tank killers once they get in range. They do such amazing, shockingly high damage, and looks like a relatively good exchange for Burn the Pigs. Much better than I thought he'd do. But looks like he's going to have to pull back everything right now. Every single unit. It worked out better than I thought, but not as good as it could have. He's still 60 points behind, and right now he's just losing more and more units, as this other flank here, which should have been in the original push, is going to get wiped out. He does have some of these cavalry tanks, some of these interesting infantry fighting beagle choices. But losing this tank destroyer to these riflemen is not going to be good. Not going to serve his cause at all. Here comes a transport helicopter with their very fast 57mm gun. Going to try to pick off this tank destroyer for cheap. And there's 80 point of difference. And that was really like the big hurrah for Burn the Pigs. From this point on, Enohka should have more units than Burn the Pigs. So that's going to spell a lot of trouble for him. Bring in 3 Urals to no avail as the tank dies, and we're now seeing a 140 point lead here for Enohka. Just absolutely dominating player, and also because that attack didn't do so much damage, this is going to give Enohka a great position to move up into this hedgerow here, which will give him a shooting position on right here. So that's interesting. More infantry fighting vehicles. Martyr Roland 2 going to wipe out this poor helicopter, which of course is currently not doing anything, just not in a good position right now. He's going to move back just in time. Martyr Roland 2 will try and chase, but no, pretty good. And it looks like we're going to see 2 T-62s get rallied directly into the enemy. I wonder what that's going to be about. Already setting up for the next push. I have a feeling that if Burn the Pigs actually gets into the beta, he'll love it. Because the beta has a lot of money, and so it very much favors a person who loves doing a lot of small attacks all the time. And you can pull off a lot of big attacks like this. You can pull them off like every 5 or 6 minutes, compared to this game once every 20 minutes or 10 minutes. So you're basically getting about double as much income. So we got 262s. More of these. He's just going to do another push. I mean, why not, right? Just the problem is that right now he's going to have a lot less units. Now the good news is that he wiped out a lot of the tanks, and a lot of the infantry for Enohka are not in great positions. And this is where it has to be to prevent the reinforcement block, but he can just dive straight in here, take out the AUF-1, the OFI, and wipe out the Sultan, take out this position, and that would end the reinforcement path for Enohka. It also isolates this position. You can move around this back road and into here. So the attack path, which he doesn't know about, would be here through Enohka. Take this road and move fast command all the way around here and in through there, taking out 2 positions with 1 attack. That is, of course, if you can do this. 4 T-62s will lead the charge. Stunned all around. Needs to split up the tanks. You split up your tanks, you reduce the number of tanks that will total get stunned. How good is this recon? It is pretty good. It gets most of the critical information. Of course, the only thing you need to know about right now are the tanks. And the T-62s are getting completely wiped out. Enohka does know about the recon. He is firing on it. While there's BMP-2 firing some rockets off at the AMX 30B, and look how fast Enohka was just rallying out those tanks. He knew he was low on tanks, and he rallied out 10 tanks on the spot. He said, yep, 10 tanks. This is called good resource management. When you don't know what your opponent's going to do, you don't commit to anything. There's no point getting a bunch of tanks if he's going to do a helo rush on you. Because if he does a helo rush, you're going to need anti-air weaponry. You wait for him to act, wait for him to give you information, and then you rally out what units you need. He spent about 200, 300 units of banked resources here just so they could crush this push, and it will get crushed. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Like I said, after that last engagement, Enohka is just massively in the lead on resources. He's going to be able to rally out a lot more units than Burn the Pigs. And so on a rather embarrassing note, my game blank crashed. So Enohka successfully deflects this using basically stacking up his points and only using them as he needed them. A very successful tactic for him. He's going to wipe out this anti-tank helicopter with a Murder Roland 2. He has 2 of them. They have their little goofy little launchers here. I think they're pretty goofy. And so Enohka, a very, very good game. Burn the Pigs is pretty close to tapping out. He might try and do another all-in, but it won't be too long. It looks like this is set to destruction mode with timer. So that means that the 1500 point score doesn't come into play, which is unfortunate. This means this game will probably lag on. Burn the Pigs trying to get some wooded positions. Not going to work out for him. This position is just too well taken. Now going for the Spadokonowskis and... Oh, that was an angry sneeze. That was very angry. Successful with this one. Once these this rep squad is quite viable. Definitely worth sniping out. And able to get this wooded position. And these are the kind of moves he should have been doing in the first place. This wooded position, of course, would give recon information to this echo from this echo base. And allow him to do a nice side swiping maneuver. With his second push. His first push should have most definitely done the reinforcement attack. The second push could have done a side swipe right to here, through here. But alas, that opportunity is now gone. Because Enohka is just so good. And yeah, I think this game's pretty much over. You can watch some more little infantry battles if you're interested. News from me. I'll be doing Wargame European Escalation replays every week on Friday until the release of Wargame Airland Battle. When Wargame Airland Battle comes over, this channel will be switching over to Wargame Airland Battle. And yeah, I'm pretty well done with the StarCraft 2 stuff. I finished the campaign Brutal with all achievements. Unlocked. Final video should be coming up soon. And then we'll be switching back into our regular scheduled stuff. Company Heroes 2 closed beta for pre-orders is up. I'll be playing a lot of that. There's no NDA that I've ever signed, so I'm putting up all my crap. If they make me sign an NDA, I'll take it down, but for now it's going to be a lot of Company Heroes 2 gameplay. I don't think I'll be doing so much StarCraft 2 stuff. I might do one multiplayer match using the one cheesy build I do. Actually, I do like a few cheesy builds, but I do actually interesting story. I placed in bronze of all places, and I moved up to Masters League after 45 straight wins. Because that's where I was in the first place. But that was hell getting to bronze. And so I'll show some builds of how to get a bronze. And yeah, I mean, not too much in gaming that interesting. I also put up a Cities in Motions 2 gameplay video. I also have the review on my website, troublmaker.com. And of course, I don't like the game. I was a huge fan of Cities in Motion 2. I actually broke my Paradox Interactive boycott to play that game, but not very good. There's a little last minute push. Enohka, no surprise. Beasts down, Burn the Pig, huge win. If you enjoyed this video, want to see more Wargame European Escalation matches, subscribe to the channel, like the video, all that sort of stuff. Recommend it to your friends. Recommend the game to your friends. It's always fun to play with friends. There's a team league. It's good to get practice in for the Wargame Airland Battle Team League, which will no doubt come up. And you can become a major player in that. My name has been Troublemaker. Thank you guys for joining me this week. And make sure to also subscribe to the playlist, because that will get you the videos for this in your inbox right away. and you can watch them every week with me. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next week.